I thank the Chairman for calling this hearing today. I wish it were not necessary. Make no mistake about it, the question before us today is not the grave personal injustice that was done to Ms. Ledbetter. It is the systemic injustice that I believe will be done to Americans across the board if this ruling is permitted to stand. Americans understand what is wrong with what happened to Ms. Ledbetter. She was hired at a comparable rate of pay to her male colleagues. Over a 19-year period of time, she was a valued employee of her employer. In 1996, she was awarded with a special award from her employer for excellence in her job. Because of the nature of her employer's policy, she did not know what her salary was in relation to her male counterparts. She was one of the few women to work in a supervisory position among 80 or so people in the plant in which she worked. During that period of time, she suffered egregious incidences of harassment and discrimination involving inappropriate language, inappropriate behavior toward her as a woman. She sought redress and received a measure of redress when the offending supervisor was removed from her immediate chain of supervision. At the end of her 19-year tenure with the company, she finally discovered that her pay was about 20% lower on average than her male counterparts. She made far less than the least paid of her male counterparts. She took her grievances to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The Commission agreed with her. The Commission then took the matter to the United States District Court. The employer defended the claim and said that the real reason Ms. Ledbetter was compensated so much less than her male colleagues was she wasn't as good at her job as they were. A jury of her peers listened to that defense and rejected it, found in her favor, found that the real reason she was egregiously underpaid was because she was a woman, and the company had in fact practiced gender discrimination. A jury of her peers awarded her a substantial judgment, including a substantial punitive damages award to rectify the situation. The case was litigated up through the Court of Appeals, eventually to the United States Supreme Court. The United States Supreme Court ruled that even though the EEOC had agreed with Ms. Ledbetter, even though a jury of her peers had heard a full defense of the claims made by her, that she should recover nothing. And the reason she should recover nothing is she didn't file her claim soon enough. She had a 6-month period to file her claim. The basis of her claim was that she made less than the men who worked there because she was a woman. But the policy of her employer was she wasn't allowed to know or ask how much men that worked next to her made. I assume that her remedy was to conduct a seance and determine what the men who worked next to her were made and file a suit on that basis. Ms. Ledbetter is an impressive woman. She has a lot of energy and a lot of power, but her powers, unfortunately, do not extend to the psychic realm. So she was unable to have this piece of information she would have needed at the time she received her last evaluation, and she did not file her claim until later on. This is wrong. The work of this committee is to understand why this is wrong and what we should do about it. I'm appreciative of the chairman calling this hearing. I think each of the witnesses has something to offer us, and I hope that Republicans and Democrats can work together to address this situation. As I said just a few minutes ago to Ms. Ledbetter, I regret the fact that her case will not be remedied because of the nature of our separation of powers, but I believe her cause will be won because it is just and it is right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.